On behalf of the Mpoko family, I, Mrs. Laurinda Mpoko, wish to confirm that my late husband, former Vice President Report Peregesela Mpoko's body, will be laid to rest at his home. Address, he plot number 19, Bulawayo Drive, Douglasdale, Bulawayo. We thank the state for assisting to carry out my late husband's wishes. God bless. Siyabonga enkosi nibusise, sibusise sonke. Bantu benkosi. Amen.
Okay, I said, I salute Mpoko. Indeed, I do. For directing his family while he was still alive. That is not willing to be buried at the National Heroes Acre. It's a good move. It's a good demonstration of a leader who does not forget his yesterday, a leader who is a focused into the future, a leader who cannot be bribed even at his death, a leader who refused to be hook-weighted to a corrupt system, even if he was a vice president. I salute him. Maybe people will wonder why Mpoko decided not to be buried at Heroes Acre and be buried at his home or in his house, Douglasdale. He has a farm in Nyamendov area. He has a big farm. He would have chosen to be buried in that farm. He'd be fit to be declared a national hero because he is a national hero. Indeed, he is a national hero. How could this government today honor Mpoko by saying he be buried at a National Heroes Acre? How can this government today respect Mpoko, yet when he was alive, he was humiliated, embarrassed in front of his people, called a corrupt, a thief. When they know Pogo refused to be part of the corrupt regime, he stood firm on his principle of ZAPU. Never you betray the people. Never you take anything from the people. Pogo did declare publicly in front of everyone, even in front of Mugabe himself, that my hands are clean. My hands have no blood. I've never killed anyone, even if I am part of this government. but my hands are clean. My hands have no blood. How can this government that after the coup lied to Mpoko, saying, let's come back home, so that we together build this country. Together we rebuild the trust of our people. Genuinely, Mpoko agreed. He returned to Zimbabwe. Only upon his arrival, his son is accused of rape, is called a rapist. Yet those who did so knew Skokoqela can never be a rapist in whatever form. He had everything which did not warrant him to be a rapist, which would not even cause him to be a rapist. Mpoko died a God-fearing man. Mpoko lived his life as a fearing God man. He never participated. How can this government today declare him, acknowledge that is the national hero, when they paraded him when he was still a vice president, instructed police to disobey his orders, instructed other ministers to disobey his orders as a vice president? How can this same president today, who together with Mpoko were appointed in 2014 to the position of vice president, and he acted as if he was now the principal vice president who supervises the other vice president, yet he knew the vice president of ZANU-PF are equally. There's no first, there's no second. But the same president today, after staging a coup, I call it a coup, denounced Mpoko publicly, called a fake Congress to expel Mpoko from the party, expelling a leader of ZAPU. This very same president who pushed Mugabe to destroy ZAPU, who pushed Mugabe to extinct ZAPU and refused that vice president should be voted for by 6 provinces, and advocated that Mugabe should appoint, and Mugabe indeed did appoint. Even the ZAPU leader was appointed by Mugabe, served as a vice president at the leisure of Mugabe. How can this man today dare to declare Mpoko as a national hero? It is a shame. It is a shame. Mpoko was to run for his life. Even after having persuaded him to come back so that together they build a new Zimbabwe after the coup. But he threatened him with arrest, causing the police to detain Mpoko at Bulawayo Central Police Station, and his son drove away with him and reported into another police station. How today Mpoko becomes a friend to Mnangagwa. How Mnangagwa today dare to say he's going to bury Mpoko at the National Heroes Acre. A Heroes Acre that the founder of it, Robert Mugabe, refused to be buried there. A National Heroes Acre that has been turned into a ZANU project. A National Heroes Acre that was created to acknowledge and recognize and respect and salute the heroes of our armed struggle, irrespective of their political affiliation, irrespective of which region they are coming from. Zimbabwe now has been turned into a ZANU project. Only those who worship, only those who kneel before them are declared national heroes. What a shame. What a shame. Mnangagwa should be asking, should be retrospecting himself and say, is this what was meant by this shrine? Was this the reason why this shrine was put in place? Only to bury those who worship him, those who submit themselves to ZANU. I know at the last minute of all the Zipra commanders, at the last hour of their life, Mnangagwa pretended to be recognizing them. It took Stanley Kakisa from a small beer garden where he was subjected to work in Sizinda and declared him a national hero. Yet his own people, his only Zanla soldiers, even those who did nothing, were declared national heroes while they were alive. I know that. I know the suffering that Zipra High Command members suffered. Dabengwa refused to be buried there. How today would Mnangagwa bury Mpoko at the national hero? I salute you, Mpoko, for dying with your conscience, for standing for the truth, because that national hero is not a ZANU project. I salute you, my commander. I worked with you. For the whole period of you being a vice president, I was with you. I was a refugee with you. And I did say this, do not go. Mnangagwa does not forgive. Do not go. Mnangagwa will put you into shame. Destroyed his business empire. Make sure that he sided with those who partnered at Choppies with Mpoko, using his surrogates such as Modi, Mashaba, to destroy Choppies completely and take Mpoko out of that picture. Not for anything, because Mnangagwa wants to be the only business person, the only president, the only human being, the only king, the only chief the only God to be worshipped in Zimbabwe. He made sure Mpoko does not succeed. How can today Mnangagwa think of burying Mpoko in Harare? Yet he allowed his savages to invade Mpoko's farm, to kill his animals, do every inhuman, subject him to an everlasting trauma. But I thank you for having resisted all this. You allowed that you lose every material things for this world and stood with your conscience and refused that every August you be saluted together with the criminals at that so-called ZANU Heroes Acre. You went with your conscience. Go well, my friend, my brother. Go well. You mentored me. We've been together through thick and thin. You served Mugabe in Mozambique. You served your country as an ambassador. You served in different capacities. When things were tough, you stood by your word. I know every Zimbabwean, including those who persecuted you, know you are never corrupt. I can attest to that. Even Mnangagwa himself knows you stole no cent from anyone. You killed no one for the benefit of a position. You only executed the armed struggle to free your fellow countrymen and women. You freed them. And the power of this world was taken away from you. I say, go well. Sleep well wherever you are. I know your hands are clean. I know. I have no doubt in my mind. I worked with you. The time you were vice president, I was your regional coordinator for 3 provinces. You tried to unite people, but because those who were corrupt rejected you, today they say they want to accompany you to Harare for burial. Refuse, refuse. I last send my sincere condolences to the Mpoko family, Mpoko and your 2 sisters. Mama, you stood to the test of time. You know how you crossed to Botswana. You know how you were ferried away from Zimbabwe to Botswana. You know how you lived in Botswana. But you stood with your husband. You're courageous. Even during the tenure of your husband as a vice president, you never became a public figure because you did not see it fit for you controlling the people through your husband. You remained a disciplined mother, a God-fearing mother. You only spoke to give advice. You mentored me, Mama. Where I was going wrong, you told me. I thank you for standing firm with your husband. You would have decided to say, Mpoko, let's go to Mozambique, I'm born there. But you decided to stand with a principle. I thank you. I thank you. I urge all Zimbabweans to attend that funeral, giving a decent burial to your hero. Go well, Mpoko. Hamba kuhle Mqala. Hamba kuhle report. Hamba kuhle baba. Ulale ngokuthula la uyakhona. Nathi siyakulandela. Ayisekho indlela esingakuphendula ngayo ngaphandle ukuthi sikulandele. I thank you. I thank all Zimbabweans who will listen to this audio. I thank you.